सवाल हमसे ही कहते हैं अक्तर महंगे पार्टी भी हैं ये अस्पताल इलेक्शन ऐलान कुछ की का फर्क क्या आज़ादी है न्याय इतना वस्तु पंच साला जैसे दुनिया तो काम एक कलूचन पेश पता कहते हैं रियल एक पार्टी है कहते हैं इलेक्शन पालन करने अगर ये इलेक्शन होता है ऐसा जोड़ता भी है कि अक्तर महंगे पार्टी बेकती पांदा दुनिया में कहते हैं वह हकीकत ऐसे वोट जोड़ता है वहाँ हारता लीमा तो आज़ादी का फर्क कहने आज़ादी पर जो है
जे हर बलोच के पाकिस्तान सिस्टम मन की कोशिश का या इंद्र पार्टिसिपेट का इलेक्शन गुड़ा बलोच नुकसान हतमी ज़रूर का ये एक हकीकत है चाहे अख्तर मैंगल भी या दिगर एक फर्द भी एक पार्टी भी नुकसान देंगे अमल बलोच आज़ादी तहरीका नी हमेशा गिंदगी के माँ बायद ज़ाहिर करूँ अख्तर मैंगल BNP या दिगर बलोच के ये बलोच मुफाद अबकार करेंगे या ज़ाती वसी मरायत अबकार करेंगे वसी फ़ायदा मुफादात अबकार करेंगे ये मैं कार के बलोच मैसेज बलोच अवाम पुजेन और बिला बलोच अवाम गिंद के एदा मखलूक नाम गिरेगा कौम बकौम परस्ता ताकि कौम परस्ते गुड़ता पाकिस्तान होते कार छेना या कौम परस्त भी बलोच परस्त भी या पाकिस्तान परस्त भी आके इसी मोक्षा जो नाम जो अल्फाज नेस्ते बेईमानी वाली कार्ड बेईमानी खने टगी खने उसी कौम आप पर रहा मगा नाम गिरा बलोच परस्तान भी बलूचिस्तान नुकसान भी पाकिस्तान आया फायदा भी पाकिस्तान दुनिया का जाहिर खंत कि भाई ये बलोच मई पजिया रहसानी मई पजिया हाँ मई पजिया एश कुल पाकिस्तान है कब्जा इता तकवीत देगा या अग्गा बरगा बलोच सरजमीन सा नी मायरगा नौशा क्या रिजेक्ट करने का रिजेक्ट मखन है लेकिन बलोच आवाम आई कर दसों के ए तई गुलामी या द्राश करेंगे बाद बलोच कौम फैसला कर
Okay, any other question? Yes. So, yes, come on.
Well, I'm just concerned about this issue of approaching, for example, this government, you know, in relation to any solution to the problem. Because, I mean, in what way do you think, personally, what would be, you know, was there a proposal already, you know, from this government? And under what conditions do you think this government is going to act, given the fact of its history, for example, in the case of the Iraq war and now of the Syrian war? Because, in fact, they are not giving any apart from giving weapons to the wrong side. You see, my question is to approach governments. We have a very bad experience from America down to Central Europe in terms of how they intervene in conflicts. How can you have it under your control? Because they are trying to divide the Baloch communities, abroad and in Pakistan. They have played this game with Pakistan, with Iran, etc., with all the communities there. And they are playing this game here, because when they arrested, for example, you, and when the whole made with the war on terror, they tried to say, well, here's the terrorist, here's the good Baloch, possibly. Do you understand? So this was already a policy of division. And they have tried to do this with the Iraqi community in the past. There were exiled people in America. They were in the beginning quite good people, but they became individuals without a community. And they were the arbitrators. They were then sent, the Maliki types, in Iraq, who actually had not the backing from their community. So I'm raising quite sensitive issues here, probably, because they are very important to clarify, even for people like myself, because, you know, we are not sure, because we are not, I'm not the Baloch community, the Tamil or the whatever community. But we need to know how we can prevent and how we can control government, how they're supporting any movement. How can we make sure that this is not another game in the yeah.
It's a really interesting question or observation. I would say Pakistan was created for the interest of British Empire, Britain. With time, it did serve British interest, but with time it went astray. It had its own agenda, fundamentalist agenda, jihadi agenda, started working. Now we can see clearly it's working for Chinese interest and Saudi interest rather than the British interest or American interest, because they have got their own agenda as well, the jihadi agenda, which is hurting us most of all. And then Pakistani have lost it actually. They have lost the legitimacy of being a state. Well, they were created with the intention of bringing the Muslims together. Actually, they have divided the Muslims. They have conquered Muslim land. They have murdered Muslims in Bangladesh. So they've lost the legitimacy of being a state, I would say. But again, it's a complicated world. We see the Pakistanis as destroying our identity, plus plundering our land. That's the deep waters. But these other nations, they might have a different agenda of economic growth or exploitation, but not to the extent what Pakistan is doing with Balochistan. Killing and dumping our young men, destroying the whole land and giving out Gwadar to the Chinese, again Sandak to the Chinese, for pennies. So we have to see that it's a complicated world, but one country is hell-bent to destroy the whole nation, their language, their people. There's a genocide going on, but on the other side, we see some hope from international community. They might be interested in our economic wealth, but they won't destroy us as a nation, as our identity is being destroyed. So it's a difficult to answer the whole thing, but we think we have some hope with the international community. Although international community has shunned us for past 65 years. They've ignored us for past 65 years. We hope they'll rectify their mistakes, as they're doing in Arab countries.